And good evening. Thank you for being here. And first tonight, a look back, knowing that answers could be coming in the future, as the deaths of two infants more than 50 years ago in Neenah and Two Rivers are still unsolved. Now, investigators in DNA technology has the potential for us to finally learn more.
First, a warning. The details of this story are upsetting. Now we're taking you back to 1970 when these two eerily similar crimes took place. This is Somebody Knows Something, infant DNA. It was just before dawn of March 3rd, 1970. Police responded to a report of a suspicious bag left in the parking lot of the Two Rivers City Hall.
The officers went out there and recovered that bag and made a very gruesome discovery. They found a deceased infant in the bag.
Just months later, in December, employees at the Goodwill in Neenah found the frozen body of another newborn baby girl inside a garbage bag. Two Rivers Police Chief Brian Kohlmeyer says both infants were born alive. Their deaths ruled a homicide.
How and who, that's the big question, I guess.
Not long after she was discovered, the case of the Two Rivers infant went cold. This innocent baby girl died horribly, was never claimed, never given a name, and then was buried right here in an unmarked grave at Holy Cross Cemetery in Two Rivers. Until 2016, that's when new advancements in DNA technology changed everything. In 2016, the latest DNA technology shed new light on the case, and both bodies were exhumed from their graves. But the technology available wasn't enough at the time, and the investigation stalled. That brings us to 2021 and the latest DNA technology from Parabon Nanolabs. Chief Genetic Genealogist C.C. Moore is an internationally recognized DNA expert and pioneer in investigative genetic genealogy.
About a decade ago, I started developing techniques to help people of unknown parentage, like adoptees or donor-conceived individuals, to find their birth parents. And those techniques are the exact same ones that we're now using for law enforcement.
Local law enforcement is working with Parabon to extract the infant's DNA for genetic testing. The DNA will be compared to every file in a public database. It's Parabon's job to find out which ancestors are a close match with the infant's remains.
If there is DNA available to reanalyze from scratch, like there is in these cases, they will be identified. You know, that family of that infant is going to be identified. It might take weeks, it might take months, it might take years, but it will happen.
Moore says it's her wish that genetic genealogy could one day stop a criminal in their tracks.
I think people need to know that you will be identified. If you are leaving DNA behind at a crime scene or an abandoned baby, we will figure out who you are now. And I hope that's enough, that it'll make someone just stop long enough not to make that worst choice of their life.
But for now, we'll hold out hope that someday soon, these two newborns will get the justice they deserve, thanks to the investigators who will never give up.
These are two infants, and I think we wouldn't be doing our jobs and serving justice if we didn't try and resolve a tragic death, I should say deaths, of both of these young girls, these infant girls. And that really is, I think, the driving force behind it right there.
So here's where you come in. Investigative genetic genealogy offers new hope in these infant cold cases, but it isn't cheap. That's why Parabon co-founder Paula Armentrout created Justice Drive, a crowdfunding service to help raise enough money to solve cases like these and at no cost to local departments.
But we want to bridge the gap between their budget restrictions and the private citizens who want to help make communities safer.
Justice Drive was created just a few months ago, and so far they've already raised enough money to fund 4 cold cases for investigative genetic genealogy. So far, $250 has been raised out of the $17,000 needed for these 2 cases. To learn more about Justice Drive or to donate to the Manitowoc County Infant Death Investigation, you can go to our website, NBC26.com, and click on this story. And finally, if somebody out there knows something that could help police solve these two cases, call the Two Rivers or Neenah police departments.